Hello, welcome to the first 180 training mini podcast thing. It kind of is. I don't really know what I'm doing, which makes no difference from everyday life. I'm going to be kind of chatting to different people at different times about stuff. Most podcasts you see come from kind of experts in their field. That's definitely not me. I'm not terrible at what I do, but I'm no guru or anything. And first of all, I've nailed down Sheona Lyndsay from Sheona Lyndsay Fitness and Therapies. Yes, I thought we'd just kind of quickly talk about the sort of sports massage side of things she does. So there's sort of four main elements, isn't there? There's the physical, evil, elbowed, harpy, giggling, Hitler, nasty stuff you do it's great, but it feels like hell. Which is the sort of actual physical sports massage. There's the vacuum cups, the taping, the K-tapes, etc., and the flossing. So I suppose we'll just kind of quickly take each in turn and just very briefly kind of outline what it is and what you've found through your experience works best in each sort of scenario. So if you say there's some things that you'd go towards flossing as opposed to massage.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, I suppose with the sports massage, it's a great way of loosening up the muscles and getting mobility back.
Look to the camera too.
Sorry. Yeah, so it's good for anybody that's been training for a long period of time. It's good to come in and get your muscles ironed out and loosened off so that you've got full range and mobility when you're training at the gym. You'll find over time when you're training, the muscles start to cluster, and although they should be lined up uniformly, over time with you stressing the muscle and the fibres will begin to cross over each other and become bundled. So the massage therefore realigns the muscle so that it's smooth and back to being uniformly aligned again. So
kind of like sorting out your headphone cables. You take them out
well,
the bar.
yeah, that's good. Yeah. That's a good way to describe it for the males actually, because I'm always using like curly hair for females to try and hair straighten out the curls and the kinks. That's probably better use for the man actually. But no, it's a great way of it's a great way of getting your muscles back to where they should be, and also just to prevent injury as well, which is the main reason why we do your sports massage, is to prevent you from getting injuries throughout your training. The cupping is slightly different. It's good for people who are new to fitness and people who are old to fitness. What it does is it lifts the stagnant, non-circulated blood that sits within the muscle, which builds up over time if you do the exercise. When you get that burning sensation when you do an exercise and you think, oh god, that's really fiery. That buildup of lactic acid, it sometimes doesn't flush away very efficiently within the muscle layers, and then you get left with that like non-circulated stagnant build-up. And the cupping basically just draws it out from within the muscle and allows your body again to be more fluent and freely moving again, which is what you need.
See, on the cupping specifically, it can be a bit of a contentious issue. Personally, when you've done it with me, I've definitely felt a difference straight away. Knots, especially, I had a few nasty, angry, bunched up knots in one of my hamstrings. Sheona ran her elbow down it. I nearly cried. She then put cups on it for just, it would only be about 2 minutes maximum, maybe even less actually. It wasn't that long.
It doesn't stay on long.
And took them off, elbow back up my hamstring, and actually those knots weren't there. It was by no means pleasant, but it wasn't the screaming agony that it was. However, what I see for people that complain a lot about the cupping side of things going, and there's that famous image out there of some guy's back's ruined. It looks like they've put, I don't know, some industrial vacuum on his back and left it there for 3 days, and it's really not good. A lot of the complaints seem to be because it's getting bunched in or done by people that do things like Reiki and chakra healing and all that sort of stuff. Sort of the new age homeopathic stuff, which, no offence guys, not my thing. I think it's a load of Anyway, we'll leave the swearing to another day. But yeah, as opposed to yours that's specifically around the sports side and to complement your actual massage. It's not removing the bad blood or anything like that. It's about expanding tissues and or I'm probably not explaining it right. But
no, you're right, definitely. I mean, it's good in conjunction to sports massage, because you might find that applying pressure to a muscle just isn't enough to get rid of the build-up within it. So the cupping would therefore then do the opposite effect, which would be to lift it rather than compress it. So in that sense, it is quite good. It works well in conjunction to massage. So you could try massage, and if massage doesn't work, then you also have cupping to complement it as such. Yeah, it's good. I think everybody's always a little bit put off by the markings that you get left with, these sucker marks in your back.
Yes, you do look like you've been sexually assaulted by an octopus. There's no other way to put it. You've been attacked by a randy octopus. So next one, I suppose, before we go on to sort of injury treatment, would be the flossing side of things.
Flossing, it's been around for a while actually, but it's only just recently become more popular and there's a bit more research into it. Basically what you do is you, say for example you've got niggles in your knee, your tendons and ligaments, you've got a wee bit of a tendinosis. A common one is tennis elbow or golfer's elbow. If you have issues within the joint, what you would want to do is you would want to, I hate saying cut off the blood circulation, but it's pretty much what you're doing. You're depriving the joint of circulation by strapping fabric above and below the joint quite tightly and putting the joint through its movements so that it stresses the limb a little bit, and then it sends signals to the brain that there's not enough circulation in that area, so that when after a couple of minutes you take the taping or the strapping off, there's a big pump and flush of circulation to the area which would help it heal and assist the tendinosis that's occurring within the joint. So that's been found to be quite good.
A couple of people here really swear by.
It's good. I mean, it's good for people who are doing a lot of weight bearing stuff. So I mean, you know, if you're doing a lot of squatting and things, it's a lot of pressure through the knee joints. The flossing is a way of almost lubricating the joint, so that before you do the exercise, you're almost warming up a little bit and giving it the extra circulation it needs to perform the exercise.
So you could just about do flossing with it, almost for just thinking about it, correct me if I'm wrong, but say you do your normal squats, but before that you'd get the knee wraps, so the same sort of knee wraps that you'd use for heavy squats. Actually wrap your knees up quite tight. Do a few bodyweight squats nice and slow for I don't know, 10 or 15, just nice and slow, and then take the wraps off. Would that have the same effect? I'm just thinking here, I'm thinking I might try it.
It's the exact same. I mean, you don't necessarily need somebody else to do it for you, you know, you can do it yourself. I know I do my elbow now and again, digging my elbow into people too much. So you can do it yourself. It's just a good way of just warming up the muscle and getting extra circulation into the area.
She means joint.
Sorry, joint.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And when that stuff has kept you going for so long, but you still pick up a lot of niggle and injury, like we all do. But say you're competing, or you're an addict, like most of us, that PT and things that can't stay away from training. K-taping.
K-taping. I'm a bit. I'm bad for it as well. Actually, if I get injured or if there's something not quite right, the muscles just a wee bit niggly, I do tend to power through or try and work around it a little bit, but still train. We're
all hypocrites, essentially, what she's saying. We will tell every client there's zero tolerance to pain. If something's not right, or it's feeling not right, do something else, replace it. We are completely hypocritical and do what you should never do and work through things. Work around them's fine, but we work through them because we're idiots.
I think the taping is good when it comes to that, in that it helps with the alignment of the muscles and the tendons. So if you have a sore shoulder, for example, the kinesiotaping can give it a bit of extra support. it's got elasticity in it, so that you are restricted slightly, but you're not restricted from full mobility and full range. But yeah, it follows the alignment of the muscles and just gives it that little extra support.
I'm wondering if actually some people might call this a placebo, but in the same way as things like thin knee sleeves just help you feel what your knees are doing on, say, a squat. You can kind of feel when they start to cave and things a bit more. If actually taping up around a joint or muscle allows you to feel that area more, you're more focused on it, and you kind of not favour it, but be more careful about your form and the actions you're performing.
Yeah. You know, I think with having done experience with working with rugby clubs and things, I do think the kineso tape is sometimes a little bit of a placebo effect, but then if an athlete got more comfort from wearing the taping and felt a bit more secure and more likely to commit to tackles and stuff if they had the taping on, then I feel like even if it is a placebo effect, I'd rather they wore it actually, to be honest.
Well, to be fair, that's pulling out of something that, especially the high impact sport like rugby, you pull out of it, you could really hurt yourself. You could end up looking at a separated shoulder or something like that, because you're not committing fully. So, man, the mind's a very powerful drug, even if it is a placebo. You know what?
What is it?
For a few quid, that stops you ending up doing something else.
Yeah, I know, exactly. I mean, with that being said, though, the research supports it quite a fair bit to say that it's quite effective. When you stretch kineso taping, it has squiggly lines on it. So the reason behind that is that when you stretch it over the skin, it lifts the skin, just the first couple of layers of skin, and it allows a little bit more of a bigger pathway for circulation in the area as well. Which is found to be a bit more helpful as well for the exercise and things.
Kind of links to why cupping could be effective as well. It kind of shows a lot of these things aren't totally different. They're not separate things.
They're quite similar in one way or another, actually. Yeah. It's all mostly to do with the circulation, really, isn't it? To be honest. Yeah.
Cool, man. Cool. This is just kind of a short video. It's the first one we're doing, and I think I'd like to maybe pick a subject in future and kind of talk a little bit more in depth. But before we do that, and before we kind of sign off from this one, are there any sort of 2 or 3, or it might only be one thing that you would tell people they should? I know that the words always or never are a bit too controversial for that, because everyone's sort of different, but things that you really try and get everyone to do as part of their training that will reduce the need to see you. I know that's kind of counter to your business, but yeah, we'll all break ourselves anyway because we're idiots. It's fine. But you know, whether it's just foam rolling or stretching or something like that, is there any 2 or 3 things that you say that you should really do this? It just minimises the need to rehab and things, because you know, rest takes a few days, rehab takes a few months. Avoid either.
You know, I always say to my clients, I think if you're going to do one thing, I'd be more inclined to say to do foam rolling. I mean, you can stretch muscles day in and day out till the cows come home, but if you've got a massive cluster and a build up within the muscle, it's like a large knot, there's no real amount of stretching that would uncluster it all, if you know what I mean. So foam rolling is the best of both worlds. You know, you're stretching the muscle, but you're also kneading out the tension that's built up and the knots that have gathered. So I always feel like foam rolling is probably the best of both worlds, because you're getting rid of the tension and the build up, but you're also getting a good stretch whilst kneading out the muscles as well.
That, she likes seeing her clients in pain as well. And when you're talking about stretch, Sheona's talking about normal static stretching, because we know active release is a combination of pressure and a stretch and things. She's not talking about that, she's talking about some general stuff in there. And yeah, I'd certainly agree. Stretching has its place, but for me, I think if you've got something that's if you don't have the full range that your skeleton allows in there, if certain things are tight, I think stretch has got its place. But stretching for the sake of it, yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Foam rolling as well. I've found I improve my mobility just by squatting more often and things. Again, because it's the stretch out the bottom of the hamstrings and things.
Yeah.
Anyway, short but sweet, but thank you very much for coming in at short notice.
No problem.
I'm going to try and do these weekly. It'd be really good if people do appreciate it, and feel free to leave a comment or like it, etc. But yeah, that's it. I'm Joe, part of 180 Training Limited. This is Sheona. Sheona, Lyndsay, Fitness and Therapies. Fact, that's good. Fits in with the industry perfectly. Okay, cheers guys. Thanks.
Bye.